Hi everyone. The topic for today's discussion is drafting a bill, one of the core topic of the syllabus, that is lawmaking process. In fact, good legislative drafting or the ideal legal system strongly depends upon the way in which bills are drafted. So, the bill being a prior version of enactment that could significantly decide fate of that particular legal system, effective implementation of law in that particular system. So for that reason, we should understand the basic things relating to drafting of the bill, uh, so as to effectively assess that lawmaking process of a particular country. I would like to explain the topic under these headings, or the synopsis of the topic is like introduction, then the meaning of the bill, then ideal law, its characteristics and its nexus with bill, kinds of bill, important parts of the bill, then stages of the drafting of the bill, and basic techniques relating to legislative drafting. So these are the things to be understood for the purpose of this topic. The introductory part, I have explained that introductory part under forwarding. Uh, like I felt we could accommodate all these concerns under these settings. Accordingly, I prepared this four fold approach, and accordingly, I have set a background for this topic, that is drafting a bill. The drafting of a bill, that would be the matter for a particular legal system in the context of these approaches. The first approach, that is control approach. What is that control approach? I have used this term control approach so as to explain limitation on parliament. Uh, it is undoubted that parliament is the supreme, or state legislature, they are supreme authority to make law, but it doesn't mean that they are above the law. Everything that is to be done by the parliamentarians or lawmakers, that should be within the framework of law. Uh, the one way in which the majoritarian rule can uh, or dominate that minority rule, or the interest of the minorities, is the way in which the law that is drafted by the majoritarians. In fact, there would be majority party, there would be dominance of majority party in that state legislature as well as parliament while making law. Merely because of that, or whether that majoritarians could take up that lawmaking process in such a way that would be result in severe threat on minorities, or whether they could take up that lawmaking process in such a way that the representation of the minorities, or the views or opinions of the minorities, so that has completely ignored by majoritarian rule. So that we have to look into here. Anyway, if the particular in a particular country, if the particular party uh, possess that majority, it doesn't mean that they could act according to their whims and fancies. So the core characteristic, or the fundamental tenet of majoritarian rule, is that there should be utmost protection for minorities, or those who are negligibly represented before the lawmaking authorities. So there should not be any dominance of the parliamentarians. So this control approach, that in terms of the legislative process, in terms of drafting bill, so that could act as control over the parliamentarians. Uh, in fact, if you look into some of the scholars' literature, the very pathetic facet, or such kind of negative developments in a particular country, that strongly depends upon ignoring or what is that the bad mode of a deliberating process in that particular country. Particularly, I have referred that one of the scholar, that is Robert Lewis, wherein he contemplated that because of such kind of uh, uh, non-control over lawmaking authorities, or the defective way of functioning of the lawmaking authorities in terms of discussion, in terms of deliberation, in terms of drafting bill. So many of the legislative authorities came to an end, or resulted in uh, some kind of negative political developments in that particular country. Particularly, he has referred to that French legal system. So, because of such kind of attitude, autocratic attitude of National Assembly of France, so that resulted in some kind of political disorder, political crisis in France, that resulted in France Revolution. So the control approach, according to this control approach, if the particular country failed to adapt such kind of things, uh, that may result in respecting the parliamentary right, or respecting the right to deliberation in the assemblies in a meaningful manner, in a ideal manner. So that would be result in very threat for that particular parliament or legislative authority. Accordingly, that may result in constitutional disorder. So that control approach, by control approach, I mean to say that that procedural drafting a bill, the various stages or the various procedure to be followed in case of drafting a bill, that could restrict or limit, or could act as control over that majoritarian rule, or the particular party which enjoy that majority in that particular parliament. So from that control approach, that we have to look into that drafting the bill, or that concept, or the topic, so called drafting of a bill would be the matter from the perspective of control approach. Then the next approach, that would be content approach. The law that is for the betterment of the society. Uh, as the sociological school of law contemplated, though the law is dominated by the sovereign lawmaking power, ultimately it is for betterment of the society. Nowadays, we are witnessing uh, what is that welfare schemes or welfare legislation. So the modern political system or modern legal system, it is strongly influenced by that concept called social welfare or societal interest. So while protecting interest of the society, uh, while uh, while protecting the identity of the particular society in a particular legislation, so the content that is to be drafted in such a way that the interest that is to be protected, that interest that is to be balanced with the rest of the stakeholders, like individual, state, or such other person. So in such a manner, there should be ideal content in that particular legislation. It may be entitlement, it may be delegated legislative class, it may be institutional class. So like that, the content of the legislation will be deciding fate of that legislation. So ideal, if the particular system is so matured relating to uh, the drafting of a bill, so there would be ideal law, there would be ideal draft of that particular country. So in the context of that, the content approach would be the matter while drafting bill. What is that content incorporated in that particular piece of legislation, whether it is required for contemporary society, or without any requirement of such kind of piece of legislation, whether it is inserted, whether it is drafted by the lawmakers. So those things would be the matter so far as content approach is concerned. Then concerns, you know, the very concept that is drafting a bill. So that is a technique, that is a skill that is the product of intellectual ability of the draftsman. So the concern is like to what extent those skills and techniques they have been incorporated in a particular ideal law, so that we have to look into here. So even some of the scholars, like one of the speaker of House of Commons always used to say like, I quote, it was a maxim he had often heard when he was a young man, from old and experienced members, that nothing tended to more through power into the hands of administration and those who acted with majority of the House of Commons than a neglect of or departure from the rules of proceedings, that these forms as instituted by our ancestors operated as check and control uh, on the actions of the majority, and that they were many instances a shelter and protection to the minority against the attempts of the power. I unquote. So the concern approach, that concentrate on, of course, this sentence it is relevant for the control approach also. The major concern for parliament since ancient period would be the way in which that particular law that is drafted. In that context, so the drafting of the bill would be the matter for the particular legal system. Then the one more approach, that is context approach. I gave this title to that uh, in the context of uh, HLA art analysis of law. You have uh, you have studied that legal theory proposed by or contemplated by HLA art. So one of the core element or component of HLA art's analysis of law is primary and secondary rules. So what is that primary rules, what is that secondary rules, in which way that primary rules and secondary rules they are connected, these rules are connected with that lawmaking process, so that we have to look into here. uh, you know the primary rules, according to him, law means combination of primary rules and secondary rules. So the inclusive definition that has been given by HLA art, uh, he contradicted that Austin view from this point of view. So HLA art says like, uh, some of the legislations may create some kind of entitlement, some kind of authority or right. Similarly, some kind of legislations or enactments may result in uh, supporting such kind of primary legislations or primary rules. So the primary rules, according to HLA art, that is the rule which creating some kind of entitlement, right, or authority or power. It may be in terms of imposing limitations, restriction, or some kind of obligation or duties on the particular person. So that is substantive in nature. We could explain that under substantive law. It is similar to substantive law. But there are certain laws or rules which are supplementary to this primary rule. In fact, such kind of laws will not create in such kind of what you call a right or entitlement or power or restrictions or obligations. So the very purpose of this legislation is to substantiate or justify the sanctity of the primary rules. So they are called secondary rules. In fact, the primary legislation or primary rules, they are in the nature of uh, conduct, or like regulating conduct of the individual. They are in the nature of power confirming rules. Contrary to this, that secondary rules, they are the rules which creating or altering uh, such kind of primary rules. So it is supplementary in nature. The secondary rules, they are supplementary in nature. That is called secondary rules. Now the question is, in which way these secondary rule concept that is connected with the drafting bill. Constitution is the combination of both primary rules and secondary rules. So certain provisions, they have provided right to the individual. For example, Part 3 of the Constitution has conferred, that is a power conferring part, that Part 3 of the Constitution, or like fundamental rights. So they are conferring certain rights on the individuals, but in which way these rights are to be created. So it is relating to secondary rules. For example, there was no such kind of right to education under Indian Constitution. Even prior to 1951, there was no such kind of reasonable restrictions like public order or friendly relationship with foreign relations. So there was no such kind of things under Constitution. But these things were created through Constitution amendment. So through constitutional amendment, these provisions were inserted. So in fact, prior to Constitution Amendment Act, it was a constitutional amendment bill. So that was in bill form. So creation of the right, it is based on this the primary rule, it is based on secondary rule. So whatever the law or the procedure we are going to follow for drafting a bill, so that is called procedural law or secondary rules. So accordingly, the drafting a bill or the procedure to be followed for drafting a particular bill, that strongly depends upon what is that secondary rules. Okay. Anyway, oh, I have set a background for the topic in the context of the control of the controlling nature of the procedure on majoritarian rule, in terms of content to be included or incorporated in that legislation, in the context of legal theory, in the context of some concerns relating to that draft legislation. So that would be the matter for legal system. Accordingly, ideal lawmaking procedure that is to be followed by the state. So that is introductory part. Now, after understanding that after understanding that introductory part, we have to look into what is that meaning of bill. So there is no such kind of things like definition. So though the word that has extensively been used under the Constitution or under the manuals or procedures relating to lawmaking process, there is no definition for the term, the meaning of bill. I referred all the dictionary definitions, despite the very simple definition provided for the term bill under all these definitions, that is the draft proposal, the draft law, or prior to drafting that or whatever the form of a particular enactment before passed by the parliament, before accepted by the president. So that is what is that bill. According to Bowier's Law Dictionary, in the context of law or legislation, I quote, the draft of a law submitted to the consideration of a legislative body for its adoption. So that is the bill according to this Bowyer Law Dictionary. So similar definition that has been adapted under Black's Law Dictionary, Anderson Law Dictionary, and rest of the the dictionaries. So they have subscribed to this definition only. Anyway, by one more thing is like I felt it is relevant to mention here while explaining that bill. uh, like uh, that is the legislator reference book published by South Dakota Legislative Research Council, one of the state in United States of America. If you look into this book, the bill is of course that is not the definition given under this book, but as introductory part of explaining the term bill. So this explanation that has been given in that book, I quote: a bill is an idea presented by an individual legislator, several legislators, or a committee, recorded on paper in a certain form and presented to the legislature for its approval. A bill is the vehicle by which present laws are changed or repealed and by which new laws are made. I unquote. Uh, you know, a bill is an idea presented by an individual legislator. So the origin of the bill, it is indicated here. Legislator normally will be introducing that bill. Several legislator, that may be the product of several legislator or a committee. So there is no such things in India. So far as committee role is concerned, as I mentioned in that previous class, that will come to picture when the particular committee is constituted by the state so as to look into particular law. On the basis of that, the respective ministry will be drafting that, and accordingly that law will come to picture, recorded on a paper in certain form and presented to the legislature for its approval. That is bill. A bill is subsequent part. A bill is the vehicle by which present laws are changed. So all these laws, it may be in detail we will be discussing while discussing kinds of bills. So it may be relating to changing existing law, it may be relating to repealing existing law, even it may be relating to creating new laws. So law would be in such form. If you look into the Rajya Sabha report, that is parliamentary procedure, the Rajya Sabha report is submitted in the year or published in the year 2015. Bill means like a legislative proposal known as a bill has to be passed by each house of parliament and obtain presidential assent to become an act. I unquote. So that is the bill as contemplated by Rajya Sabha report. Uh, like after understanding, so that's it relating to a bill. But there are some explanation relating to various kinds of bill. While discussing various kinds of bill, we will be understanding that meaning of bill in its true sense. So just in its plain sense, the bill is a legislative proposal, a draft proposal prepared by the respective ministry, involved with various procedural things, and that is the stepping stone to become law or to be approved by the parliament and president of that particular country. So that is relating to meaning of the bill. Yes, so before discussing various kinds of bills, I think it is very much required to understand, in addition to the four approaches mentioned in that uh, introductory part. Of course, this is supplementary to that concerns approach that I mentioned in that introductory part. It is evident from practices of the state across the globe that the parliamentary procedure, manuals relating to parliamentary procedure that has been adopted by almost all the states across the country uh, so as to follow certain standard norms or procedure relating to that legislative process. Uh, for these reasons, it is evident from all these manuals, it is not only that various countries across the globe, some of the international associations like particularly Organization for Economic and Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the international organization being working for better governance or better policies, uh, there also we come across that association is also come out with certain standards relating to the legislation, the standard legislation to be adopted by the states, or the policies to be adopted by the state for betterment of the society or welfare of the society. In fact, all these things, they are to be incorporated or injected to that particular piece of legislation during drafting of the bill only. So for that reason, after understanding that background for this topic, uh, I think these are the necessary to understand, like what are the characteristic of good law, in which way those things they are to be taken care by the draft bill. So that we have to look into here. So far I have explained that introduction, then the meaning of bill. Now let us move on to characteristic of good law, so that we could understand uh, the the procedure uh, followed in India so as to achieve these things. So in the good law here means it is not in the context of the legal theory or jurisprudence. So this is in the context of uh, what is that lawmaking process. So that we have to look into here. For that I am referring various um, the documents or manuals adopted by various countries across the globe. So just I will be bringing certain things to know about the standard guidelines or standard practices to be followed by the countries. As I said, that Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So that has regularly involving with uh, involving with that such kind of standard practices. Uh, Particularly, the recommendation made by this organization in the year uh, 2012, that is quite significant so far as the structure of legislation is concerned. It says like it has contemplated certain principles, like while drafting a particular piece of legislation, that bill should commit at the highest political level to an explicit uh, all governmental policy uh, for regulatory quality. So the policy should have clear objectives and framework for implementation to ensure that if regulation is used, the economic, social and environmental benefits justify the costs. So the distributional effects are considered and the net benefits are maximized. So that is to be taken care. See the quality of the regulation, the distributive justice principle that is to be taken care by the legislature, adhere to principle of open governance, including transparency and participation in the regulatory process. So that can be ensured through uh, proper public engagement. So that is to be ensured by the state. That is second one. Establish mechanisms and institutions to actively provide oversight of regulatory policy procedure and goals, support and implement regulatory policy and thereby foster regulatory quality. While drafting legislation, that monetary nowadays, that is the core characteristic of almost all the legislation. Normally there would be monetary procedure in that legislation. So to what extent that has been implemented or incorporated in that legislation, that would be the matter. Then integrate regulatory impact assessment. So the policy process that strongly depends upon integrating regulatory impact assessment. So clearly identified policy goals and evaluate such goals, that is very much required for the success of particular legal system. So that can be achieved through this integrate regulatory impact assessment. To what extent laws they are uh, like they are implemented, they are working for that particular country. So by looking into that, we could assess the quality of the legislation. That is the fourth one. Then they conduct systematic program review of stock of significant regulation against clearly defined policy goals, including consideration of costs and benefits to ensure that regulation remain up to date, cost justified, cost effective, consistent, and deliver the intended policy objective. So that is relating to repeal bills. Okay, I will be explaining while explaining various kinds of bills. So the systematic program that is to be taken care, that is to be undertaken by the government, so as to take care of stock of the situation or stock of the existing legal regime, whether they are updated, whether cost are justified, cost effective, or consistency that has been maintained under that regulation. So that is to be looked into. So regularly publish reports on the performance of regulatory policy and reform programs and policy authorities. So the draft bill significantly influenced by that reports, performance reports of the authorities. This is also relating to the repeal bill or the amendment bill. Normally that would be undertaken by some commissions or committees. So the performance of the authorities will be assessed by the government accordingly. That will be taken care. So like regularly publishing reports, that is the core characteristic of good law. That is the defective part of our jurisprudence or study of law. Like we won't look into that reports or the performance appraisal report of the authorities. Normally we will be looking into that law relating to that. So because of that, I used to insist my students, like while studying law, you should necessarily look into facts and realities. The performance report, if you look into, if you are studying uh, that media and law, necessarily you have to look into that reports relating to Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, so that we could understand the status of that law. So like regular reports relating to performance of law, that is quite significant, so as to take up the draft bill, particularly the repeal bill or amendment bill. That is one aspect. Develop consistent policy covering role and functions of regulatory agencies. So regulatory agencies nowadays, that is the common characteristic. According to nature of the subject matter, there would be regulatory authorities. So the policy and programs of the regulatory authorities, that is to be clearly stated in that. So accordingly, that bill that is to be taken care. Ensure the effectiveness of system of the review of the legality and procedural fairness of the regulation. So review mechanism that is to be provided, procedural fairness that is to be ensured, and the decision making authorities under particular legislation, that is to be clearly stated out. So as to ensure all these things, the draft should be very matured or ideal. In fact, all these things, like review of the legislature, review of the procedural fairness of the legislation, the what is that the review of the decision of the or decision making authority. So that is to be undertaken, that is to be taken care in the context of citizens, in the context of engagement of stakeholders. So in such a way that law that is to be drafted, bill has to prepare. In addition to that, the ideal law should ensure that citizens and businesses have access to this system of review at reasonable cost and receive decisions in a timely manner. So that has been ensured through right to information. So law should ensure such kind of things. The next principle would be as appropriate apply risk assessment, risk management, risk communication strategies to the design and implementation of regulations. To ensure that regulation is targeted and effective, regulation should be assessed how regulation will be given effect and should design responsive implementation and enforcement strategies. So risk assessment and risk management, risk communication strategies according to nature of the legislation that is to be incorporated in that particular bill. Where appropriate, the regulatory coherence through coordination mechanism between supranational, national, subnational level of government that is to be taken care by the lawmakers. There may be various or multiple authorities working for a particular subject matter. For example, if you look into uh, water, like water resource management in India, we come across a variety of the institution. So that a groundwater board that is relevant for us, then the mechanism under Biodiversity Act that is also relevant. There are multiple authorities working for a if the multiple authorities are working for uh, particular subject matter, so cooperation or coordination between those things that is to be taken care. Much importantly, the uh, regulatory mechanism uh, that is to be uh, drafted, that is to be structured in the context of some international standards and international framework. So that is to be taken care by the legislature. Uh, so all these things, whatever I explained in the context of the OECD, that is organization of Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So those things strongly depends upon the way in which bill is drafted. Uh, for that reason, the drafting of the bill would be the matter. Uh, uh, Even one more report generated by this organization in the year 2015, it is quite simple and clear so as to understand the nature of good law. They have provided a catalog to assess quality of the good legislation. uh, so these are the uh, important aspect of the good legislation. Whatever I mentioned so far, that is 2013 report recommendation. So now I am just mentioning 2015 report, like a recommendation made by that Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, so that we could assess uh, whatever the subsequent things we are going to discuss for this topic, that is bill. Uh, the first thing is like serve clearly identified policy goals and are effective in achieving these goals. Policy goals, they are to be achieved. uh, Policy that is to be identified at the first instance, then the effective mechanism. For example, if we take up Consumer Protection Act, consumer rights, so uh, that is the uh, what is that policy goal to be achieved, and what is that effective means to achieve that. So institutional mechanism, that is the way through which that identified goals are achieved. So goals are to be identified and effective enforcement of such goals that is to be taken care by the policymakers. Good regulation should be clear, simple and practical for users. So there should not be any complex or such kind of ambiguous terms used by the lawmakers. So there should be clear, simple, and practical for users. Have a sound legal and empirical basis. Whatever the legislation enacted by the or the parliamentarian, so there should be sound basis for that. There should be sound legal and empirical basis. There should be some empirical evidence. For example, Criminal Amendment Act was amended in the year 2013 because there were many protests or movements across the nation against such kind of uh, rape and all in India. So such kind of there should be empirical basis to enact law. consistent with other regulations and policies. There should not be inconsistency with existing laws. Produce benefits that just justify costs considering the distribution of effects. So it is similar to that previous 2012 report only. Implemented in a fair, transparent, and proportionate way that minimize cost and market distortion, promote innovation through market incentives, and a goal-based approach, and are compatible as far as possible with competition, trade, investment, facilitating principles at domestic and international levels. So these are all the things to be taken care by the lawmakers while drafting law. Even I refer to that office of the Parliamentary Council of UK. What should be the nature of good law? Which are those fundamental principles relating to good law? According to this, the good law or the nature of the good law, that is to be looked into from the perspective of necessity, from the perspective of clearness, from the perspective of coherent, from the perspective of effectiveness, from the perspective of accessibility. So all these things, they are to be incorporated while drafting the bill. That is the preliminary stage through which we could realize we could incorporate all these things. So for that reason, the drafting of the bill would be the matter. That is the UK context. Even if you look into some other countries' manuals, we come across some more things like while drafting bill, it should focus on fundamental rights and international law nowadays. Whether it is coherent with the international law and fundamental rights, or that sharing of the powers between center and state, whether it is taken care, the choice of the form of the legislative act, like whether it is constitutional bill or legislative bill, whether it is new bill or amendment bill. So those things, that is to be taken care. Legality and delegation, so that is to be looked into. The composition of the legislative act, that is to be looked into. So the writing of the bill, that is to be looked into. Anyway, overall, I would sum up like this. The drafting of the bill that should addresses the political objectives, it addresses social objectives, it addresses legal objectives, and it should operate as efficiently as is possible. So much importantly, that should not be against the constitution, against the international law, against the distributive justice. So the lawmakers, they have to draft a law in line with all these things. Much importantly, it should be consistent with identified basic goals and basic principles. It should be clear, it should be sound in substance, a well thought out instrument, a full and harmonious scheme or instrument. Then only there would be a recognition for that law. Then only there would be a effective implementation of that law. All these things that can be taken care through drafting of that particular bill. Accordingly, the drafting of the bill would be the matter for a particular legal system. Accordingly, we are here to discuss the various drafting of the bill in India. So the way through which these bills are drafted, which are those various stages, wherein whatever so far I explained, those things incorporated under a legal system. So that is to be explained. In fact, it is quite a vast subject. Studying drafting of the bill in one or two classes, that would be very difficult. Despite as it is contemplated in your syllabus, we have to discuss that. Briefly, I will be discussing here. Next class, let us understand what are the various parts of the bill, various kinds of the bill, various stages relating to drafting of the bills. In the context of all these things, we have to look into all these things in the context of whatever the introduction I said today, so as to understand the importance of drafting of the bill. So, in the context of all these things, we have to discuss these three important aspects, that is, kinds of bill, parts of bill, and various stages of drafting of bill in India. I will explain that. I will these things to be supplemented for this topic. Uh, uh, that I will take up in your next class. After drafting the bill, then that consideration of the bill, passing of the bill will come to picture. So it is the next stage to that bill. So those things they are to be taken care after uh, this after understanding the drafting of the bill. So let me sum up the legislative procedure or parliamentary procedure that would be uh, the important for a particular legal system. As I mentioned in that introductory part, under various approaches, as it is contemplated under the manuals of various countries, parliamentary procedure of various countries, drafting of the bill, that is enormous task to be carefully taken care by the respective department, normally there would be parliamentary affairs department, so accordingly they have to take care of that. With that we I have just set a background for drafting bill. Let us discuss the rest of the things in your next class.